Yeah, their playbook was Black people fighting in the streets all summer. They wanted a summer of violence. They wanted all those video clips of Black people being violent. And the entire Black community collectively in one voice heard their ancestors say, rest, stay home. Don't go out in the streets.
I replied, this comment is entirely false in every regard. You're a white person who categorizes yourself as a commie. So, obviously you think that protests are only effective if Black people are there to be under the tank treads, right? You think that it's only a real protest if Black people and the cops are there and the Black folks are being brutalized by the police. This tells me all I need to know about you. Tankies want their fantasy of a bloody revolution. Forgive the Homestuck reference here, but they don't want a LARP revolution, they want to FLARP it. They want fatal live action role play, and they want the most vulnerable folks in the community to be sacrificed, to be brutalized, because they think it will bring about their authoritarian communist utopia. When I say that white tankies, white communists are not safe, and that they want authoritarianism, they just want their own flavor of it. They don't actually want liberation. They don't actually care about the most vulnerable. They don't actually care about injustice. They just care about their fantasy. This is exactly what I mean.
Hey, white people, let's talk. Sometimes I forget that white people aren't as engaged with Black creators on this app and in the world as I am. So there was something over the weekend that I thought everybody was very well aware of, but I'm understanding that that's not the case. I was talking to my mom today, and she and my brother went to a protest on April 5th to protest Trump and all of the things that have been happening for the last couple of months. So she was telling me about her experience, and she said it was like a love fest. It was so nice to be with all of these people, thousands of people, and everybody signs and all this stuff. And I said to her, did you notice that there weren't many Black people there, if any? And she was like, yeah, actually, I did notice, and I was confused, and I was like, I thought Black people were really upset about him too, and I didn't understand. This is my mom talking. So I explained to her that 92% of Black women and 80-some% of Black men did what they were supposed to do back on November 5th, and they are now resting, and they are not participating in these here protests, and that there was a concerted effort for Black folks to stay home.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back. So America is panicking because Black Americans stopped showing up. No marches, no protest, no emergency organizing, and suddenly the country feels unstable. And Black American silence isn't apathy. It is exhaustion and setting boundaries. And this is exposing how much America has always depended on Black Americans to hold it together. So let's get to see more reactions. Then I'll come back with more commentary, all right? Let's dive into it.
Come there, let's meet there. And all of you need to be arming yourselves in one way or another, whether that's physically or mentally. You need to be ready. There is no talking to evil. There's no having conversations and figuring out things with evil people. And I know you guys don't want to think about fellow people as evil. But guys, villains have always existed, and they always will, unless we do something about them. And we all know that words will do nothing. Peaceful protest at this point should just be left to Black Americans who can sit on their couches while we are in the streets fucking things up like we should be. Because the buck stops here. I don't care if I'm the only fucking one. I'm going to do something about this myself because I have the means, and it was gifted to me at birth. Because that's how this administration works. That's how this country works. I will be looked at with more compassion. I will be on the front lines while they're trying to talk this through with me because they think that we have some sort of kinship because we're white.
Peyton gets it. Shouts out to Peyton. His name is Peyton Vanest. Vanest. He gets it. He's literally doing a call to action for his fellow YT Americans, saying, hey, meet me in DC this day, this time, come prepared. Black Americans, the only one that needs to be peacefully protesting at home from their couch, because he knows that his skin color is a form of protection. So for everybody else to be telling us to get out there and fight against ICE for whatever reason, illegal immigration, knowing damn well that they would love for us to be out there to use us for target practice, is diabolical, especially when we have been at the forefront, our ancestors, our lineage, and us, because we've been protesting too, present, like in modern times, we've been at the forefront of every situation when it comes to injustice, especially as it pertains to law enforcement. So when, like, they do need to show up. I've been saying this from the beginning. Like, we don't need to, they need to show up. They need to get as mad as they did on January 6th. Period. Because I don't think that any of us needs to be risking our lives to go out there at this time. Now, if ever comes a point when we need to, then we will put boots to the ground. We know how. We've been doing it for centuries. But to see other black people, other black Americans in particular, calling us lazy, denigrating us, talking down on us because we as a collective are saying, hey, we're not going to go out there. This is not our fight. It's utterly diabolical. Spread love is the Brooklyn way.
I need y'all to stop saying we're not mad enough. We're not angry enough. Because who is we? Black people have been angry in this country for centuries. We've been angry so much that y'all called us angry black women and angry black men. We got a term put on us because of how angry we have been. So stop saying we're not angry enough or we're not reacting, we're underreacting. It ain't no we, because my people, black Americans, have been protesting for civil rights in this country since we got here. So I don't understand who this we is. That's one. Two, when you say we, you're implying that someone else is going to do it. It's like a bystander effect. It's like you are saying we're not angry enough, as if you're looking around to see somebody else be like, yeah, I'll get it started. I need you to say, I'm not angry enough. I need everybody that says we're not angry enough or we're underreacting to start saying, I'm not angry enough. I'm underreacting. Because if enough people say that, then that makes a we. But you got to put the responsibility on yourself. You can't be waiting for other people to do what you think needs to be done. That's what it is to be a black American. That's part of my culture. I don't wait around to see other people do it. I get it started. Because why should I? Why should I wait for someone else to pick it up? Let me pick it up. That's what y'all problem is. See, you've had the benefit of living in a country where black people, black American people got your civil rights for you. We got civil rights for everybody, and we saw the least amount of benefits from it. And so you're entitled. You feel like you're entitled to that. You feel like, you know what I mean, we're just going to always be there. We're just going to always do that. Y'all are assed out right now because black Americans ain't doing nothing. And we shouldn't. Like, we showed you the way. We're not putting our bodies on the line anymore for this country. We did it enough. Y'all need to do something. So stop saying we're not angry enough and we're underreacting, and start saying I'm not angry enough and go out there and do something.
They have been dealing with a apartheid fascist state for generations. Even worse than an apartheid state. Like in the slavery era, that was like they have been in an abusive narcissistic relationship with the government for generations, since the first person unwillingly stepped foot on this land. They have studied their abusers, because that's what you have to do. When you are a victim to an abuser, you have to study their every movement as a form of self-protection. And they have done that. They didn't have to learn it as they go when he took power in November. They already knew. What do you do when your abuser all of a sudden you hear him walking down the hallway and his footsteps are a little bit off? His breathing's a little bit off. You hide. You go and you hide in your closet. You go out the window and run. You get somewhere safe. They have gone somewhere safe. They are not, resting is not passive. That is not passive protest. That is active protest. And it is working more than anything else that has been being done. It is more effective than I can think of anything else that is being done right now. Resting to me means staying home, saving your money, not spending your money at corporate stores, not, buying local, shopping at local stores, going to local restaurants, supporting local businesses, building community, saving your dollars. We brought down Target, and that was 100% led by Black people, by the Black community, 100%. We made Disney come to their knees with just money in a weekend. Like, that is where it hits them where they hurt. We do not need people in the streets being violent. If you feel the call to be out there marching, go march. Do what you feel called to do, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about they wanted summer of 2020 visuals, and they didn't get it. Summer's over. They never got those visuals. I guarantee they have some strategy book and they're like, summer of violence, martial law, we can bring troops in everywhere. Every time they bring troops in somewhere that is shown to be peaceful, people wake up. Every time somebody wakes up, it's it's a snowball. So people that are resting are literally doing the most right now.
And we talk, let me tell you something. As a journalist that is no longer in a traditional newsroom at the moment, when I tell you Black Americans, the descendants of the enslaved, push the culture, that is what I'm talking about. That entity that currently occupies the White House, when I tell you that he is not happy with the fact that we have sat this one out, when I tell you that other subgroups are not happy that we have sat out and are scratching their head and wondering why we ain't nowhere to be found, despite being the highest unemployment rate group, despite quite literally being hunted in this country, despite it all, somehow we are still finding a way. Somehow we are still finding our joy. We are still making a way. We are still in community with one another and building. I refuse, moving forward, going forward, arguing with anybody about the Black American experience. I am no longer arguing with nobody. Nuh-uh. You are not cut from the same cloth, and you cannot compete where you cannot compare. I will not be explaining that any further. The mere fact that we collectively in November of 2024, altogether, the majority of us, 98%, dare I say, decided that we are not going to do this. We're going to sit this one out. Y'all got it. And we are in lockstep. I hope you understand our power at this point. I hope you understand just how powerful we are when we are in lockstep with each other. Our ancestors are proud. They are very proud, but there's still work to do. While everybody is trying to spin the narrative and trying to get us up out of our rest, we got to remember not to let them. Mind your business, make your money, save your money, build your community, and go on about your business. Because as you can see, when you think the harm is going to come to somebody else, you find it on your doorstep. And maybe now, because we're going to continue to rest, we cannot let up. We cannot let up by any means. Maybe, just maybe, other groups will fall in line and figure it out and understand that we are better together than apart. Okay? But it starts with us, because clearly they wanted us in the streets. Clearly they wanted us up in arms because Kamala D. Harris, Madam Vice President, Attorney General Harris was not elected. The mere fact that we are still showing up and showing out, that got people mad, got people rocked, got people wondering what in the heck. It's gonna get worse. But as I've said several times, you cannot think my house is gonna be on fire and yours isn't gonna catch on fire, because we are too mixed up now. Our kids are too mixed up. We are too mixed up in our workplace, in our workspaces, in our neighborhoods. So the quicker people get on some get right and start putting into some action, because that's what it's going to take at this point. It's going to take action. And the action cannot come from us first. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But yeah, no. Black Americans, the descendants of the enslaved, please continue to rest and just find your joy where you can.
hey, 92%, this is the reminder. We are standing down. We're doing us, finding our joy, keeping our joy, advocating for us, standing in the gap for us. There's going to be a lot of things that happen very soon, probably starting tomorrow, that are already in motion, that are going to make us want to stand up and fight and advocate and all that other stuff. But we're not doing it this time, right? We're good. We're looking out for each other.
Let's be honest. Black Americans have fought everybody's battles in America. From the very beginning, the system was built on black labor, black bodies, and black resistance. Enslaved people didn't just survive. They resisted, they ran, they organized, they rebelled, and they laid the groundwork for freedom before America was ready to admit it. After slavery ended, the fight did not stop there. It shifted. Jim Crow, segregation, lynching, redlining, voter suppression, mass incarceration, and police violence. And still black Americans, they still showed up. So they marched for civil rights, not just for themselves, but for everybody. Our voting rights helped women vote. Our labor rights, they helped immigrants organize. Desegregation opened doors for other minorities. Time and time again, black Americans put their bodies, their lives, and their futures on the line, while the system gave them the bare minimum in return. And here is the truth the country doesn't like to admit. Black Americans were never protected by this country. They protected it, they stabilized it, they pushed it forward, and they forced it to live up to words it never planned to honor. So when people ask, why aren't black Americans protesting? The real question should be, how long do you expect them to keep bleeding for everybody? Because for centuries, the pattern has always been the same. Black Americans fight, the system adapts just long enough to survive, others benefit, and black Americans are left behind over and over again. And now for the first time in America, black Americans are choosing something radical, rest. And not because they don't care, because they care enough to stop being used, That silence isn't weakness, it is clarity. It says, we warned you, and we explained the system to you, and you chose comfort over truth. During the elections, black Americans spoke, They warned about policies, they warned about power, they warned about the consequences, but many people, including minorities, they ignored, and they decided proximity to whiteness felt safer. So they distanced themselves, they mocked them, and they said, this won't affect us. But now ICE is at their doors. Now their communities are scared. Now they want solidarity from black Americans. And black Americans are asking, where was our solidarity when we needed it? And at this moment, it is revealing that black Americans, they carry power. Their presence matters. Their labor matters, Their voices matter. And their resistance matter. And so does their absence. So the system is panicking, not because black Americans are loud, but because they are quiet. When the group that has historically carried the moral, social, and political weight of this country step backs, the cracks become visible. So black Americans are saying they are tired of sacrificing themselves for a system that refuses to change. They are tired of being called only during a crisis. So rest is not surrender. Rest is strategy. And maybe this moment will force America to confront a hard truth that change cannot keep on depending on the same people paying the highest price. Black Americans have already proven their power and they don't need to perform it again. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.